Now, arriving at Fontaine Futuristics, place switch.
This is it, Chief. End of the line. If I'm right, Eleanor's mama's using Adam to force all Rapture's minds and memories into the poor girl. Lamb reckons it'll make that child a saint. Now, Eleanor's in a deep, dark place beneath Fontaine headquarters, and to keep you alive, we need to sneak in and find her.
I think that Rapture's basic policy would have been something that all comments are taken seriously. It's not that. It would have been something that, hey, you are being crazy exploiter, would have been something that crazy exploiter who doesn't understand shit about business, or better say about getting repeat business. It would be something like and fuck off. Most likely when that's already the matter. Well, and if I'm Fontaine Futuristic must have been the place where actually the Adam was discovered.
This facility belongs to the city now, to Ryan Industries, at least until the rioting subsides. While it is unfortunate that such measures had to be taken, I must admit, it is gratifying to see this building condemned. Fontaine is gone. Lamb is gone. Close enough. I am alone at last. Alone with my city.
Well, at least the mini turret did its job. And why am I not surprised that Andrew Ryan would prove himself a hypocrite? But these walls with these 50s style photographs, I don't know, are these some sort of stock photos or maybe photos from the developers and their families? Most likely probably something like both, and maybe some of them are just fake in a sense about people who don't exist. There's a system, I don't know how you call it, a program which in a sense generates human faces with with basing on something on how human faces are formed. Which is really interesting that you can, in a sense, create non-existent people faces. Hell, I'm certain that with sufficient caring, you could make a program to generate something like fake Facebook people, Facebook profiles, completely, as in completely out of blue, not in a scam, just credible appearing Facebook profiles. It's really, those kind of things are really interesting. Strange, but interesting. Damage research. So yeah, and the fact that Ryan, in a sense, nationalized Fontaine's business is nothing short of complete hypocrisy
October
towards his
9th,
ideals.
1967. Hello. My name is Gilbert Alexander, and by the time you hear this, I will be clinically insane. I am recording these diaries in advance as a last-ditch effort to assist anyone I might threaten in dealing with me. My next message awaits you beyond the security checkpoint. The bioscan will ensure that you're sane enough to need it.
Oh.
Gil Alexander. As I recall, he was involved in Big Daddy development from the beginning. Likely had something to do with you and Eleanor, son.
Actually, if I remember right, it's shown in the BioShock Infinite DLC is that there was a injured Big Daddy, which is, you could say, is the Delta, although in that it is shown as regular rumblers, bouncers type, mostly because of the iconic appearance thing. And little sisters who were very afraid of it gave it Adam to treat it, and in a sense that kind of action made it so that the Big Daddies get into the bond to the little sisters, so they protect it. Otherwise they would just ignore them, that they wouldn't just stay with them, they would just walk around. And Delta was the first one. Of course there was problems, but they came out later, mostly in matters of cost and the fact that Big Daddy like Delta tends to go homicidally insane when their little sister is damaged or killed, and they are not immortal. And but it was Su Chong who actually, well, was there developing those first Big Daddies, and he was a chronic hater of children, and he died, and he was killed by Big Daddy just because, hey, the bonding process works, and you just I wonder, is that that was just nothing but mad rambling. Is that Gil Alexander rambling or somebody else? Hard to say. Most likely maybe both. Yep. Having to deal with splicers. That one went out. Any more? Yes, more. And if I remember right, the basic tactic method of how they create all these splicers is that they have a set of enemies like abilities like Thug, Redhead, Houdini, Spider, and all that, and then they have various sets of body types and they have various bodies for splicers, and of course they have various body types, which of course give different voice sets.
Oh hell, that has to be Gil Alexander, same man who left that message we're following. He sounds mad as a March hare now.
So the guy I shot to the head was Gil, but he did say himself that he was prepared, in a sense that I will record this documentation to help somebody who comes after me, even though I am then, because when he hopefully arrives.
Welcome to the
then I am not in a state to be of assistance to him then, so I will make it as easy to him to finish what I cannot be him helping. That's actually in a sense very long thinking. Being prepared for something like what is inevitable to you, which is to say going crazy from splicing. And seeing that the BioShock characters usually are much shorter times in Rapture, or acting their long-term difficult long-term perils of splicer use most likely are not there. Obviously do not cripple him.
Identifying clearance level. Identified. Clinical trial subject. Classification. Protector. Designation. Delta. Status. Deceased. Error. Updating status. Please stand by.
What's this? My secretary vouchers for you? Oh, Delta, eh? You're one of our old protectors, yes? You're a fine product, Delta. Yes, fine product. Built to last. Say, don't look now. But I believe one of your old colleagues wants to welcome you back to the office.
Oh yeah, Delta is... Alright, more. What the hell is that? Whatever it is. Alpha series. And it's a big, it's a daddy. Oh, damn it. Hit her. I'm gonna bash you apart.
Delta. Status update. Status. Active. Access granted.
Oh yeah. Alpha series. I actually did some research on that, and Alpha series Big Daddies are, well, they are derivatives of Delta itself. That's why, and the first actual production line, yes, Big Daddies were produced, or maybe still are produced, but at least were produced. And Alpha series was the first one. Was here a healing station? No, there wasn't. Alpha series was the first mass-produced type of Big Daddies. They were bonded to one little sister. Not to them all, generally, as in the later variants, like bouncers and rosies, maybe even those rumblers. They are later ones. They treat all little sisters with the same, you could say, affection.
Hello again. I have been exposed to a massive dose of substance Adam. By the time you hear this, I will have armed this facility's defenses en masse. You, my friend, must therefore penetrate them and kill me. Please believe that if I could have done it myself, and on that cheery note, you may use the diary lying near this screen to bypass the Vogel print locks ahead and enter the security office. The password is Agnes Day.
No smoking, that's bad for you. And of course, I wonder, did he put it to the safe? No, there's just rivets. Has the safe be... Has it been that audio file he mentioned about? Oh no, not. It's all there.
Agnes Day.
Please see password to enter.
Agnes Day.
Access granted. Welcome, Gil Alexander.
I heard that. My likeness is company property, Delta, just like you are. Don't make me strip you for parts, Millardo!
I am certain that Alex the Great is Mr. Gil Alexander now. And seeing as he might be a bit of an unhinged state. Yeah, well, he wants himself to be eliminated, that which in a sense is completely reasonable, seeing that how the war Rapture is nothing but a ship sank to the bottom of the sea.
Password to enter.
I warned you. When you're down, life's a pain. Weatherman says heavy rain. Is all you need. Average show to Hercules. Stronger on the show. And that's why the future is haunted.
Access denied. Please speak clearly. Automatic deactivation for 60 seconds.
Oh, he's jamming the voice print lock with that awful crooning. See if you can find some way to sabotage his control of building security.
Delta, you're dawdling. The security office is well above your pay grade. If you're so keen to help, the restrooms need a good scrub. Here's a clerk or two to help you along.
Bloody goddamn parasite! Preservation! Self-preservation!
But I now think that the amount of the variety of basic enemies in BioShock is actually quite slim.
Brian is now dead by his own son's hand. But far more interesting is the program of compulsion bred into his child, coded WYK. It was some manner of verbal trigger phrase, which the boy would obey as an order, unerringly. In a way, this sad thing, this half-man, had escaped the self. Highly intelligent, but devoid of so-called free will, with all its convenient blind spots. What if he had been instructed to uphold the common good? What if he were a volunteer?
Yeah, that's in a sense quite interestingly enough the protagonist of the first BioShock. It's really interesting that it's a very blatantly shown that there is no actual free will in gaming. It's very loose at best. And let's see what there is. Oh, well, of course the basics: gene tonic slots, health upgrade, Eve upgrade. Let's get another gene tonic slot just because. Because hey, I think I might be already gotten them all. But now I can just get some more of these handy. Well, let's see. Why take number 1 when I can take number 2 do right away? And while I'm at it, and machine buster, just because hey, I'm here. Now I have full load of tonics to be equipped. Oh yeah. Well, as I was spelling that the free will thing in gaming is quite illusionary.
Don't you dare touch that signal relay, Delta. Its value is 10 times your own.
Yeah, he is in bad shape. Let's not touch that. Let's listen to this first.
Thanks to new plasma technologies being developed here at Fontaine Futuristics, anything is possible. The power of the gods is yours. All of our procedures are quick, painless, and safe.
Gee, thanks, Doc. I feel amazing. Never felt better. Wow.
Results are clear. Invest today in plasma
Bot down,
technology.
shut up. And there's a
I'm very disappointed in you, Delta. Destruction of a Fontaine asset is punishable by summary dismissal. Shall I simplify that for you? Fired! Fired! Fired!
oh yeah. Yep, the rumblers. Hey, take a look.
I'm telling the other girls that I have the best daddy.
Oh, that's good. And I really didn't want to kill that to either. Mini-turrets, they are just so handy. Although I do not deny that becoming a big daddy is quite harsh thing for you to go through, but it's not actually I'm saving and gathering and returning after that. Oh, that was a gather. And what is happening here? Well,
I designed that device, Delta. You fumble at it like an amorous baboon.
you have a bad problem about your attitude, Alex the Great. Well, the guy you used to be would have most likely blown your head off if he would be sane enough to actually recognize it. Frank Fontaine, also known as the psychopath wolf, who had no sense of practically anything. But he was cunning and intelligent. Although they don't necessarily equal each other, but they are close to each other. Finances. Heavy rivets. Oh, damn it!
Get me, Daddy!
That's a research camera. I'm taking a photo of you just because, hey, I want to get some research out of that thing too. Now I'm gonna blow that thing up just because. So it's time to give her time to start her work. It's really annoying in this case that it's quite difficult. How they spawn is very weird and wonky. They don't seem to spawn from any, you could say, plausible or even not so plausible locations. They just seem to spawn on wherever you happen to be. Oh yeah, of course I will unzip him. Hello, Houdini. Oh, that's the grenade whistle sound. Say hello to Shotgun. Good for you, little. Shoot to the face and blow their head off.
Always safe with Daddy.
That is true. And as much as Delta can concern, all big little sisters can be all safe. Let her go. They don't look particularly healthy.
This is Eleanor Lamb speaking. It's been many years since my last diary. Mother found a way to rehabilitate me psychologically, but she can't remove this thing inside my body. I look in the mirror and I see a freak. I remember very little. Just an artificial sense of peace and a compulsive hunger for Adam. Dr. Alexander is trying to help me adjust. He's responsible for part of my condition, but he wants to make amends.
Yeah. Mostly, I would say that if Gil Alexander was working on how to reverse the process of becoming Little Sister, which is also what the Dr. it went down, but they don't seem Alpha series don't Big Daddies don't seem to be that very horrifyingly powerful. Of course, knowing that because they're the older one, and those don't know how to use plasmids mostly because they are batshit fucking crazy. And this must have been Fontaine's office. Damn, it's fancy. It's fancy. Booze. Of course there would be booze. And fancy paintings. And more relays broken. But this kind of...
Each new tyrant ventured here in search of conquest, Delta. Fontaine, Ryan, and now you. But every aspiring Caesar must learn to fear the knives of his fellows. Ask yourself, what does Sinclair stand to gain in guiding you here?
Most likely he has that kind of thing to gain, that he wants to get the hell out of this madhouse, and he sees that aiding me is the best way to get that goal. So it is that the goal of Delta, which is quite abstract, works together with goal of Sinclair's and Delta's goals realign with each other. They are not opposite each other, so there's no reason for them not, or at least for Delta, no reason not to trust Sinclair. He might be quite sleazy. He's at least open on his selfish motives, which is an improvement over the general craziness of the Rapture himself and Lamb herself. Because Lamb didn't even try to get Delta to be on her side, just that she noticed that, hey, a Big Daddy's somebody, Tenenbaum came and woke up, put a big resurrection system, woke up a Big Daddy, so let's just start killing it. Let's just try to kill it. But this fight has proven to be way too bad at that getting killed part. Unstable teleport plasmid. What the hell is... Yeah. And I think that card house of money was just because of mini turrets, more of them. It was just there as a show off for the physics engine. And I do say that the first BioShock was criticism about that objectivistic capitalist utopia thinking.
Anyone in the plasmid business ultimately requires the use of human test subjects. It's our dirty little secret. And to be frank, Rapture doesn't really want to know, provided the end product is sound. The volunteers were scarce, even as the economy buckled. A man named Sinclair approached us with a seemingly limitless supply. He rented them to us, bound and sedated. No questions asked.
Yeah, Sinclair. Maybe he had something to do with getting people to become Big Daddies. What, are you gonna ramble again? Doesn't look like it. Well, let's make the camera serve me.
That little infraction just earned you another slap on the nose, boy!
Does that mean that most splicers are coming in here to be killed? An Alpha series, despite doing a very impressive show up, well, weren't so strong. Although they are strong, it would be foolish not to say they are strong, hell, they're big daddies. But come on. Wait, why fight yourself when you can get the enemy something else to do fighting for you? Say hello to Bug Swarm. And of course these they look either welded or burned images of fire. It was something like, I'm quite certain that Frank Fontaine had followed policy of let's murder your employees instead of just firing them, just because hey, that way it's much cheaper. And the teddy bear. And money. And shotgun shells. I still wonder why in hell would a quite regular office room have so much shotgun ammo in there. Doesn't make it feel right. Oh, but then again, Rapture wasn't right from the start. So there's that thing.
Surprise, Delta!
Oh, damn it. Yeah, surprise to you. Asshole you might be. But Delta has all the physical strength of a big daddy combined with human ability to think. Oh, that's just a... Oh, what the hell is that? So it's the plasmid which teleports. Interesting. I wonder, is it something that it has to be made to teleport enough time so you can get it? It might be something, or maybe not. Most likely something that you get damaged, you teleport away from the source of danger. Which in itself would not be a bad power at all. Assuming it wouldn't teleport you into any kind of horrifying death machines. Like, hey, you are here, teleported you outside. Not that Big Daddy would mind being in the sea, they can endure that just fine. But there's it would be very inconvenient of this kind of uncontrollable teleportations would be very inconvenient for any kind of reason or purpose. Yes, severely deformed. Go downstairs. And was it here the last relay? I'd find it strange if it would be. There it is, but let's just check where's the nearest door. Oh yeah, right behind the wall. And there's that one too. Just to buy these because they are really necessary. And where did the teleporter go? Frank Fontaine's Plasmid Spectacular Theater. Frank Fontaine was a sociopathic criminal. Nothing more. Even in the Rapture standards. Mostly because when you look about all kinds of how they gangster over gangsters and all those things works with them. There's you could say a quite nice myth about the Sicilian Mafia, which most likely is not the only organized crime organization in the world or with a history. There's nothing about that. But it's the fact that maybe they themselves have sometimes spread a rumor or myth that they were something like a self-defense militia on made by the peasants to protect themselves as a self-defense against all kinds of abuse by nobles and maybe even officials. But that is not true. Cosa Nostra started already was a criminal organization right from the get start when there was some lemon farming in Sicily, and it demanded big investments and a big time at the beginning. It's profitable, or at least was very profitable. I don't know about its current state. It's most likely still done, but it demanded heavy investments in the beginning, and it was then very risky at the start. It was risky at the start after the first investments before it would start to get profits. And criminal organizations did blackmail that, oh, you started these nice little lemon farms. It would be real bad when something would happen to them, and then of course they would make sure that something would happen to them. Oh, look at that, your farm went on fire, but oh, we have this fire department system.
To you, my boy. We ironed kink after kink out of our domestic plasmid line on you right here. Well, let's see if you're staying competitive. Step on up and take the spotlight. Ladies and gentlemen, Fontaine Futuristics invites you to shed your skepticism, evolve your expectations, and dissolve your doubt as we unveil the revolutionary power of our home defense plasmid series. May I have a volunteer from the audience? Come now, don't be shy. How about you, sir? No, he's positively rigid. Yuma, at the back. Oh, come on down. Let's give it a hand, folks. Totally a single volunteer. Oh, come now, gentlemen. She'll be awfully nervous up here all alone. Come on down, all of you.
Oh yeah. Lots of splicers in a big show. You're a buff, and he wore a hat. And they're Houdini splicers. I think might be the most dangerous one types of them all. Well, he went down. And the most annoying part about the Houdinis is that you, if you could make them catch on fire or something like that, they just teleport away and no longer are on fire, which makes them very annoyingly dangerous, or dangerously annoying. And there wasn't water to follow the old-fashioned myth of electrocuted water.
Applause, please, for Subject Delta and the power of plasmids.
More.
Oh dear, Subject Delta. It looks like you've upstaged a fellow demonstrator, and he's here to steal the show. What will Delta do now, folks?
Well, seeing as you are
Still a winner, Delta. The tour was never the same without you. And to think you were so spliced you couldn't stand when we stuffed you into that getup. The Fontaine family retirement plan suits you to a T, my boy.
Alright, that was actually quite crazy. Although not excessively crazy on standards of BioShock, but it was still quite crazy. And quite challenging as well, mostly because of the fucking Houdinis. Not fucking Houdinis, that was Houdini's wife's job. And Houdini actually, what was it? A Polish, was it Hungarian Jew with the name of Erich Weiss, and perhaps the greatest. Well, not hard to say. Was he the greatest magician of all time? But certainly one of the best ones. And of course, somebody's value might not necessarily be just because of how they were, but also about what kind of legacy they've left behind. That means that some scientist might not be a great researcher themselves, but they may be a great teacher.
Severance package cancelled. Benefits rescinded.
Yo, broke down. Oh, there's the unstable teleporter again. Touch it. Oh.
What are you?
Oh, this is... Alright. It teleported me around to a weird place. It's some Eve hypos and nice with a plastic. But now I can move again. That was weird, but somehow expected.
The tyrant has no family, no friends, no country. Only slaves, chained in his wake. To his fellows, he asks, of what use are you to me? Those who love him are his subjects, for the tyrant accepts only worship or fear.
Judging by how you are acting, so Dr. Sophia Lamb, you are an excellent example of a tyrant. Most likely blind to you, just like Andrew Ryan, blind to your own flaws. Many of these kind of business bad guys are usually blind to their own flaws, but then again that's also in...
Hello again. I must assume by now that you're willing to help end my life. In exchange, I have prepared a friendly security escort for you. Ah.
Alright, I'll just take the launcher damage immunity.
There's a switch in here which will allow you access to the real laboratories where what's left of me awaits you. Please, use it.
Alright, unlock the plasmid laboratory, open it. And there it is, right in front of me. But it might be a good idea to, of course, save the progress and all that kind of thingery. Just noticed that recordings have gone to quite long in this one. So let's just finish off that alpha one. With a artillery. And you, just because I had it, that was my gun.
The rest of the family sends its regards.
Take a rocket to your face. And it explodes. Well, you had a fancy outfit. But it looks like Sophia Lamb has also gotten... Yep. That's certainly true. She's gotten herself a storage of old and I don't know where they decommissioned, or at least it was something like that. Most likely it was just that they didn't stop building them and were seeing how volatile they act. Solid slugs. Fuck that. That alpha is zap him and whack him, but this time it was more like a stop it and then blow its head off. Well, there was a big horde of... Well, I do think that Sophia Lamb has somehow managed to get herself a big amount of these obsolete Alpha Series Big Daddies and uses them as some sort of enforcers of her will, but seeing that they are homicidally berserk, it doesn't seem to be such a good idea. Well, time to do the savings again. See you next time. See ya.